The new moon is when we have come to a it's a death back to life phase. We are experiencing the end of the previous new moon, full moon phase, or cycle, excuse me, and we're moving into this understanding of that phase and how we can apply our newfound wisdom from the previous moon cycle in this next cycle. So even think about that over the last couple of weeks. What have you experienced? What growth have you experienced? What has come to mind about your experience of that phase? I'm being called to read about the balsamic moon too. New moon in Scorpio. There we go. And again, because it's a new beginning. What do you want in these next 2 weeks? And what is Scorpio able to provide for you? What kind of wisdom is Scorpio bringing? Okay, so I'm only doing this in candlelight. I've also got my death helper card out here because the death card is connected to the sign of Scorpio. As well, it's also the number 13 card, and I've already explained, I think, that I believe the number 13 is related to the divine feminine. So I don't think of it as an unlucky number. I just think it's a number that has been obliterated by, being dominated by a patriarchal system that is, anyway. All right, so let's talk about balsamic moon and also the new moon in Scorpio. And it says here, new moon in Scorpio means working through your fears. All right, so let's read about balsamic moon first. And then I'm going to read the new moon in Scorpio card. Okay, balsamic moon, a time for healing. Pulling this card suggests that the past is in the past and a bright future is beckoning. However, before you take your next step, make sure that both you and the situation feel healed. Okay. This is not the time to paper over cracks or to simply pretend that everything is okay. Rather, you still need a little more time to heal and soothe both yourself and anyone else in need. Then remind yourself that anything is possible if you believe it. This is also a time to surrender and wait to hear guidance from the universe. Powerful insights can be had. If you know that someone or something isn't good for you, this card is a reminder to surrender. Start to work on your belief in your dreams so you're ready when the time comes. To attune to the moon, when one is healed, all are healed. Additional meanings. It's time to let go of the past. You are about to turn the corner. You need more time to heal. Think about how this situation would look if everyone were healed. The teaching. Patience is required at the time of the balsamic moon, which we are in now, by the way. Balsamic moon and also moving into the new moon in Scorpio. It's a time for self-care as you slowly but surely prepare yourself for the new moon, which is just around the corner. No matter which point in the current moon cycle you have pulled this card, it's a reminder to go a little bit easy on yourself. The time to step into your creatrix power will come soon enough. Give yourself the time you need. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and read new moon in Scorpio. Work through your fears. Wow. Excuse me. So, this card suggests a rebirth. Think of your situation as the phoenix that's rising from the ashes, as the birth, death, rebirth paradigm. That's what Scorpio energy is all about. Whatever you've been through, there's a new start ahead. It might be a little dark. It almost certainly won't be rainbows and unicorns. but it will be deep and transforming. This card also suggests that if you know you are magical, then this is the time to work your magic. It can also herald the start of a sexier time. If you've been experiencing somewhat of something of a drought, and emotional intimacy is also on the menu. Scorpio is the sign that likes to go deep into body, mind, and spirit. So when this card comes up, there's nothing superficial about what's coming your way. To attune to the moon, have some sexy time. Additional meanings for this card. It's time to let go of a grudge you're holding. Move on from jealousy. Stop being obsessive. Ask yourself, could it be you're being paranoid? Or make an investment. Investment in yourself, investment in, I don't know, a stock, a business, whatever. The teaching. Scorpio is the sign of death and rebirth, magic and shamans. Its energy is a little bit dark, occult, even scary. Not all of us like to face the shadow, but Scorpio demands it. In fact, it's working through your dark side that you can get to the light. And the new moon in Scorpio and the appearance of this card at any other time suggests you need to do that now. All right. Awesome. So that's a little bit of reading and guidance for the new moon in Scorpio. And I'm going to go ahead and get some cards out for a reading. I think I want to deal, let's see. Which cards do I have in here? Yes, okay. Dream Enchantress. Dream Enchantress. Dream Enchantress. Yeah. I'm going to use my Dream Enchantress Tarot deck. Let's see. Put you right there. Yeah, I think you're safe right there. Okay. I call on my divine ascended masters and teachers to come into this reading with a message for those who are watching for the new moon in Scorpio, November 2021. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Okay. Thank you. Whoa. Okay. All right. Yep. Actually, I don't normally read in reverse. This fell out in reverse. I'm going to read it right side up though. Okay. All right. Well. Well. So we had two sets of cards come out in pairs. One card at the end. So let's go ahead and take a look. We've got the Fool card, first card out. Second card out is the Two of Swords. First pair out in the third area. We've got Strength and the Ten of Swords. Next, we have the Ace of Wands and the Tower card. And then last, we have the Nine of Swords. At the bottom of the deck, the Seven of Cups. All right. I'm going to take a quick look here. And I might pull my helper cards because I think the Fool card is connected to Uranus. And of course, I'm not ashamed to use my helper cards. I think you should, especially if you're developing a practice of your own. All right, and also, let's see, let's look at the Tower here. Okay. All right. So I'm kind of sensing a lot of stops and starts here. And there's a lot of choices. There's a lot of choices, paths you can take. Which I think is actually probably the point of the reading, is to not tie yourself down to one decision, to especially what's the practice of it's like a practice of non-attachment, not attaching yourself to the outcome and just being present in the journey. So even if there are a lot of stops and starts happening, right? If there are a lot of stops and starts, just know that the end is not the end. The end does not mean that it's finished. I hope I'm saying that correctly. The Fool card is a great card to have. This is not just the idea of a new journey. It's connected to the planet of Uranus. And Uranus is all about busting through the rules, busting through boundaries, busting through hard, busting. It's like, what was it? I think I had a Uranus cocoon done by a friend of mine called, her name is Gizem, and she lives in Turkey, and she did a wonderful cocoon. I don't know if she does them anymore, but she did a wonderful Uranus cocoon for me, which was basically an astrological look about how Uranus would affect me personally. And she included in this beautifully edited and put together package this idea, or at least the idea, the understanding of Uranus, but then also this poem that Rumi, someone translated a Rumi poem, but it's called The Guest House. And it's like, the beginning of the poem is basically, someone's coming in and clearing out the house. And that is what I see when I see the Fool card, is that Uranus, the Fool card is setting out on a journey. I'm sorry, I'm like talking about it and not really showing you the card. But the Fool is setting out on a journey. He has very little carrying with him, except a stick and a little dog right here. And I don't see a map. I don't see whether or not he's walking in one direction but looking over in another direction. So it's almost as if he doesn't really know where he's going, but he is going. He is breaking out of this, and breaking out of whatever, breaking out of a rut, breaking out of this. And I have here the meaning from Jessica Dore's course, which I'll also link to, because I know she's updated it, but breaking out of rigid cycles. And that's the idea of the Fool card. But The Fool has choices to make. The Fool has choices to make. The Two of Swords is where we have this, not only do we move past the Ace of Swords, which is divine gift, we now have a choice to make as to whether or not we are going to take one path or the other. Twos are typically about choices. And the Fool is already moving in one direction, but looking in another. So many paths exist. Many opportunities exist, apparently, right? So keep in mind that Fool mentality, that, and I say Fool, keep in mind that mentality of the idea that is put before us when we think about the planet Uranus and astrology. Uranus is here to break rigid cycles. We need to be able to understand that many choices are available to us. We have many ideas, and I say many ideas very quickly, but swords are also about ideas. They're about truths. They're about clarity. So we have multiple amounts of those things to choose from. And it doesn't mean because we choose one that it is correct, but it is correct for us in the moment that we made the decision, right? So have some understanding and openness about this moving forward. Then we come on the Strength card and the Ten of Swords. Now, the Ten of Swords, I actually do feel that there is an amount of, I get the sense that there is some sort of guidance, right? You have someone by your side. You have some sort of, it's that same idea of being in the cave. You have someone that is able to safely accompany you in and out of this moment where you are, because you see the Strength card here. You've got the woman petting the, I guess that's like a cougar or some sort of cat, big cat. And then we also have the Ten of Swords where this this person is also slaying a dragon. So it could be that we are, you, when I say we, you, we are even represented by this girl, and our emotions could be the animal that we want to be stronger. And we go into this space and we end up killing. When I say killing, we end up busting down the dragon in the scenario. And the dragon could be, the side of us that is causing a blockage to who we are, causing us to not be able to access our true strength, right? That's what I see. And even the Strength card and the Ten of Swords, the Strength card shows us, this is a major arcana card, and we've got three major arcana cards out on the deck to kind of counteract some of the energies. And it could be that this Two of Swords means that we have a choice between this path and this Ace of Wands Tower path, right? And again, either one, it's okay. Either one. Because think about this new moon in Scorpio card. Think of the energy of a phoenix. Birth, death, rebirth. It's okay, whatever path we take. And I say that it really doesn't matter, but I don't mean it as callous disregard of emotion or life or anything like that. It means there is more to be had. There is more to, we can expect more. We can always make another choice. And we can always forgive ourselves for the choices that led us into other situations that we did not want to be in. We can have compassion for ourselves. And so that's also what I see here in these two cards. We can have compassion for ourselves as we also, I call this 10 of Swords in this particular deck, we are killing our misunderstandings, killing our, or either clearing up our misunderstandings in this 10 of Swords. Or we're basically completely done with an aspect of our mental, like maybe we're done with something that was plaguing us mentally. Maybe we're moving beyond something that is taking up too much space in our heads. Because again, the Strength card, it's important. It's important to maintain that connection, that safe connection, and understand that we are in control of whatever, we are able to safely guide and have compassion for, and we don't have to feel as if we're moving into this 10 of Swords energy all the time, if we can learn to embody the Strength card. So I'm going to move on to this Ace of Wands and the Tower. Now, the Ace of Wands, in this particular deck, the Ace of Wands shows I think it's two young people actually, lying at the base of a tree, and it looks as if they are maybe at like a crossroads or next to a road and taking a nap before they journey on this road beyond the tree and into the mountains. And then of course, here we have the Tower card. The Tower is, there's some sort of figurine that is struck by lightning, and it seems as if it's been built up on a pedestal, and there's a town below right here. So if this figurine has been struck by lightning and is falling, what are the consequences? I mean, if part of it falls on the city, it's like everything is coming down. Maybe we shouldn't have built the figurine that big right above the town, right? So I honestly get a sense that this is about avoiding a disaster, or maybe you just, and when I say avoiding a disaster, I don't mean for this to be predictive, but in this case, maybe the path we take, right? If I talk about this in a spiritual nature and how it connects to us in our spirit and our emotions and our own moving day to day, this is a beginning of a new journey. And by beginning that new healthy journey, we are even experiencing the end, almost a powerful end. But we're also kind of, by starting that journey, we're also getting ahead of the destruction. I hope I'm saying that in a way that you all understand. By starting off on this new journey, right? This is or even when I say journey, wands are about action. So we're taking action to start something because there is this Tower moment that is we're not driven by fear, but there is this tower moment that's happening. And it could be that we have taken an action that either leads to something falling. And again, I talk about towers or the tower card, tower moments. Tower moments come in to adjust. We may not like it. It's always an uncomfortable moment. It could be the destruction of whatever you hold high on a pedestal, because it's similar to this 10 of Swords. You know, if I call it killing your inner dragons. And your inner dragons could be those thoughts and ideas that are just not conducive to your own health. And then the Tower card comes along, and it's kind of like, you know, if you don't take action for yourself, the Tower card is going to come in and take action for you. And it's going to do what it needs. It's going to do what you need, but it's going to do it in a way that is probably uncomfortable and out of your control. And then lastly, the last card that came out is the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is about, well, if you look at the card itself, there is a man lying on a couch. He has spilled, he's gotten to the point, I guess, where he has drank so much wine that he's passed out on the couch, and he spilled his cup everywhere, his cup of wine everywhere. And then on the table, you can see he's just been drawing swords. That's all he's been doing in his drunken stupor, is drawing swords, and is now in a stupor. And he's got this kind of almost like a nightmarish kind of a devil fairy hanging over him. And it could be that he's just dreaming about this, but that's pretty much what the Nine of Swords is about. It's that idea of, you know, of course it's swords, and it's swords that have become so heavy, right? That they have ultimately caused us to not know anything else. I mean, we're thinking about it night and day. We are, it's constantly consuming us, that kind of thing. And yeah, I don't know how this correlates with this reading, but my advice would be to not let, as I said in the Scorpio season reading that I posted last week, there is no reason to carry all these sorts of thoughts and ideas and things that just kind of clutter up in your head, and that's all you can think about, and it's all you're constantly looking for, newness and things like that. The Nine of Swords is just it's a call for the need for good mental health care, treating yourself with compassion. The Nine of Swords is nightmares. It's things that, you know, sometimes they keep you up. They're constantly on your mind. Where am I on time? I'm only 26 minutes. Okay. So I want to get some clarification on this card, and then what we'll do is, I want to get clarification on this Nine of Swords. All right, Spirit, can you clarify this Nine of Swords? Can you clarify this Nine of Swords? What is that? No? Okay. Well, can you clarify this Nine of Swords? Okay. All right. They said we already clarified it. Okay. All right. So it looks as if this Nine of Swords has been clarified by the Eight of Wands. So it seems like the situation, whatever this Tower moment is, if you have not gotten ahead of it, this Nine of Swords is followed by the Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands to me is just blessings coming in. It's people coming in to help. It's, you know, blessings from heaven. It might be moving slowly because you see this woman here on the back of is she, I think she's part of the snail or in the snail. It's moving slowly, but it's coming in. It's happening. Your blessings are on their way. Yeah. Don't give up. Don't give up belief on yourself. Understand. You know what? Write it down on a Post-it about this new moon in Scorpio energy as you move through this moon cycle, right? This entire cycle. It is about birth, death, and rebirth. And with this reading, it has to be understood. Birth, death, rebirth. Birth, death, rebirth. Birth, death, rebirth. And I say, when I say birth, death, rebirth, I mean us. Us being reborn. Us being rebirthed as new people. Us in that phoenix energy. The phoenix being the bird who is reborn from the ashes. And of course we see where those ashes come from this Tower moment. Not all is lost. Not all is lost. Because being rebirthed in the moon cycle is always going to come. It's always going to happen. Okay. Thank you, spirits, for clarifying that reading. I'm going to go ahead and let's get you some guidance here. Did I want to use the animal deck? Animal spirit or mystical shaman? Let's go ahead with shaman. Do I have the book? Yes, I have the book over there. Okay. Okay. Spirits, ascended masters and teachers, can you give us some sort of guidance for this reading? Thank you so much. The reading for the new moon in Scorpio, November 2021. Some guidance, please. Thank you, Spirit. And give us some guidance. Give us some guidance, please. That is a lot. I'm not going to take those. Oh. That was a lot, and I couldn't tell which one came out first, so I'm going to keep on going and give us some guidance, Spirit. And give us some guidance. Whoop. Ah! Whoop. They want to give us a lot of guidance. Okay. If you all could give me one card that you think is just the best. Okay, lost that one. Could you be clearer and give me one card? Thank you. All right. So, the Council in reverse. You know what? I'm going to pull one more because we got, that's, I feel like they were just saying something to me. So I'm going to ask for one more card, please, Spirit. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Really. Okay. All right. So we've got the Council and the Smoky Mirror in reverse. Let's see what medicine comes with these readings. I'm going to do that. And come on. Oops. Bring this out here. Maybe I'll pull this over. Smoky Mirror and the Council. All right. Okay, the Council in reverse. That is the number 11 card. The Essence. The Council are the luminous beings who hold the collective wisdom of humanity. They are the ones before whom you will do your life review when you cross into the world of spirit. A life review is when we place our good and our bad deeds on a divine scale and attempt to explain why we did not love or forgive or dare as greatly as we might have. Know that their wisdom is available to you at all times when you live in the state of yes, an unconditional relationship with life. They remind you of your place around a sacred fire, which has been reserved for you since the beginning of time. You will claim it when you own your inner wisdom. The medicine. You are never alone. Turn to the Council to find the guidance you seek and listen to the voice that arises spontaneously. Turn a deaf ear to that nagging voice from your ego that tells you you are not up for the task before you. Create a spiritual feast for the Council. Invite them to your altar every time you meditate or pray. And I would highly, again, recommend meditating through this time if you're having a difficult time in this season. All right, now the Smoky Mirror. That is card number 47 in reverse. Okay, the Smoky Mirror, the Essence. The Smoky Mirror represents the aspects of what is implied yet cannot be immediately known in the world. The mystery of how things come together. Mystery. That is what Scorpio is all about, is mystery. The mystery of how things come together and how they fall apart without obvious causality. The symbol also represents the shadow of the human psyche, the parts of the self that one disowns. The Smoky Mirror can also represent a state of denial, or the inability or refusal to see the truth. Yeah, that's all through this reading. And it could be, this Two of Swords means that we're not seeing the truth. The medicine. Understanding the shadow of the human journey, requires that you go deep into your story to discover the wound that prevents you from seeing the truth of your current situation. Your fears and expectations of disappointment and unworthiness may be clouding your capacity to see the potential in yourself and others. The Smoky Mirror may be showing you things you don't want as a result of your conditioning. These can become even more real, but only because you are making it so. The choice is yours. The world will hold you accountable for what you see and create. Can you see through the eyes of truth and faith instead? Wow. Yeah. Because even with this Eight of Wands, there's this idea of also having faith that change is coming. Blessings are coming. Wow. And the fact that it ended on the work of the shadow, or even the shadow of the human psyche, really just drives home how powerful this new moon is and how emotionally affecting it is, and how it is asking us to face parts of ourselves that are sometimes hard to face. And I even see in this Seven of Cups, this woman is holding, like a few children, and is sleeping and dreaming. And in her dream, she's got all these cups, all these ways to go, and different pathways and things that she could choose. But is she going to choose what's most important to her in her waking life, or is she going to choose what's most important in her dream life, right? And sometimes facing that also brings up our shadows, brings up those things that we have decided that we don't want to show the world, that we don't want to admit to the world, that we don't want the world to see, because we have not yet not confronted it, but we have not done the work of identifying it, finding it, working with it, accepting it, loving it, giving it space to express itself, so that it doesn't have to make sense to the world. It has to make sense to you, because you are the person who is bringing it forward. It goes from shadow to light. Okay. I hope you have a wonderful, compassionate, graceful, especially to yourself, season for this new moon in Scorpio. And I am not sure how much I'm going to be able to post as I'm going through this new moon with you all. So I'm going to promise that I will post another video. I don't know if it will be the full moon. I don't know if it will be something separate where I check in. But again, if you would like to schedule a shadow retrieval session, which is a meditative session where we go in and help you identify the parts of you that are calling out for help or calling to be heard, we can do that. And I also am available for tarot readings, general, work-related, career-related, those kinds of readings. But either way, blessings to you, peace to you, compassion to you, grace to you, love to you. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.